Welcome back. Today's topic is all about one of the most interesting and widely collected British silver coins, the United Kingdom top 5 2-shilling coin, also known as the florin. This coin has a rich history, multiple designs, different mint marks, and huge differences in value depending on year and condition. Some examples are still common in circulated form, while others are extremely rare and can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 2 shillings coin from 1961, also known as the florin. At first glance, this coin might seem ordinary, especially in circulated condition, but as collectors know, even common coins can hold surprising stories, historical value, and niche demand in the auction market. In this video, we'll explore its history, unique design, rarity, and most importantly, how much this coin is really worth in today's market in US dollars. History and background. The 1961 2 shillings coin was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II as part of the pre-decimal British currency system. At the time, £1 was equal to 20 shillings, and this coin represented 1/10 of a pound, or 24 pence. The florin has an interesting legacy. It was originally introduced in 1849 as part of an early attempt to decimalize British currency. By 1961, the coin was already well established and widely used in everyday transactions. This particular issue was minted in large numbers, around 37 million coins, which makes it very common today. Even after the UK switched to decimal currency in 1971, the florin continued to circulate as a 10-pence coin until it was finally withdrawn in 1993. Unique features of the coin. The 1961 florin is made of cupronickel, giving it a silvery appearance but no intrinsic silver value. It weighs about 11.3 grams and has a diameter of roughly 28.5 millimeters. On the obverse, you'll find the young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, surrounded by Latin inscriptions. The reverse design is especially beautiful and symbolic. It features a central Tudor rose, representing England, surrounded by floral emblems of the United Kingdom: thistles for Scotland, shamrocks for Ireland, and leeks for Wales. This design reflects unity across the nations of the UK and is one of the reasons collectors appreciate the coin despite its common status. Rarity and collector demand in damaged condition. Now let's talk about rarity. This is where expectations need to be realistic. Because of its high mintage and long circulation period, the 1961 2 shillings coin is not rare, especially in circulated or damaged condition. In fact, many collectors consider it a beginner-level coin due to its availability. Coins that show heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration typically have very low demand. Collectors usually prefer high-grade examples with sharp details and minimal wear. However, even damaged coins can still attract interest from beginner collectors or those building date sets. Occasionally, coins with unusual errors or toning may gain extra attention, but these are exceptions rather than the rule. Current market value in dollars. So, how much is a 1961 2 shillings coin actually worth today? Based on recent price guides and collector data, the value is quite modest. In circulated condition, most examples sell for around 70 cents to $1.50, depending on wear. Slightly better preserved coins may reach around $2 to $3, while uncirculated examples can sometimes sell for a bit more, though still generally under $10. In auction settings, heavily worn or damaged coins usually remain at the lower end of this range, often selling for less than $1 unless included in bulk lots. This highlights an important lesson in coin collecting. Condition plays a huge role in determining value. Tips for collector S. If you're thinking about collecting or selling a 1961 florin, here are a few useful tips. First, always check the coin's condition. Look for details in the design, especially the Queen's portrait and the floral symbols. Second, avoid cleaning your coin, as this can reduce its value significantly. Third, consider storing your coins in protective holders to prevent further wear. And finally, while this coin may not be highly valuable on its own, it can be a meaningful addition to a larger collection of pre-decimal British coins or a historical set from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Conclusion. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 2 shillings coin from 1961 is a beautiful and historically rich piece, but not a rare or highly valuable one, especially in circulated condition. Its true appeal lies in its design, history, and accessibility for collectors of all levels. While it may not make you rich, it serves as a great entry point into the world of numismatics and a reminder of Britain's fascinating monetary past. If you enjoyed this breakdown. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shilling coin from 1963 in fine condition. At first glance, this coin may look like an ordinary piece of old currency, but collectors know that even common-looking coins can carry surprising value. In this video, we'll explore its history, features, rarity even in worn condition, and most importantly, what it's actually worth today in auction markets, especially when priced in US dollars. The 2 shilling coin, often called the florin, has a long and rich history in the United Kingdom. First introduced in 1849, it was part of an early attempt to decimalize British currency, representing 1/10 of a pound. By 1963, when this particular coin was minted, the florin had become a standard circulating coin across the UK. The 1963 issue was struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, featuring the young portrait of the Queen designed by Mary Gillick. This was also one of the final years before the UK fully transitioned to decimal coinage in 1971, making coins from this era especially interesting to collectors. The 1963 2-shilling coin stands out for its classic and elegant design. On the obverse, you'll find the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, uncrowned, facing right, with the inscription Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina. On the reverse, the coin displays a beautiful crowned Tudor rose at the centre, flanked by thistles and shamrocks, representing the unity of the United Kingdom. The denomination 2 shillings and the year 1963 are clearly marked. The coin is made from a copper-nickel alloy, giving it a silvery appearance that holds up well even after years of circulation. In fine condition, the major details remain visible, though there is noticeable wear on high points such as the Queen's hair and the floral design. Now here's where things get interesting. The 1963 2-shilling coin is not considered rare in general terms because millions were minted. However, condition plays a crucial role in determining its desirability. In fine or even damaged condition, the coin is still collected, particularly by beginners or those building affordable date sets. While heavily worn or scratched examples are less valuable, they still hold some demand due to their historical significance. Collectors who focus on British pre-decimal coins often seek even lower-grade examples as placeholders until they can upgrade to better specimens. Let's talk numbers. In fine condition, a 1963 2-shilling coin typically sells for around 50 cents to $2 in general marketplaces. If the coin is more worn or damaged, the value may drop closer to its metal value, often under $1. However, coins in better preserved conditions such as extremely fine or uncirculated can reach $3 to $10, and occasionally more in competitive auctions. It's important to note that while this coin won't make you rich, bulk collections or rare variations, if discovered, can increase overall value significantly. If you're collecting or planning to collect coins like the 1963 2-shilling, there are a few key tips to keep in mind. First, always check the condition carefully. Details matter a lot in coin grading. Second, avoid cleaning your coins, as this can reduce their value dramatically. Third, consider buying from reputable dealers or auction platforms to ensure authenticity. Lastly, think long-term. While this coin may not be highly valuable today, coin collecting is as much about history and enjoyment as it is about profit. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 2-shilling coin from 1963 in fine condition is a great example of how even common coins can hold charm and collectible value. While it may not be rare or extremely valuable in damaged condition, it remains an important piece of British numismatic history. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, coins like this are a perfect way to build knowledge and appreciation for the hobby. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shillings coin from 1966, often known as the florin. But instead of focusing on pristine, uncirculated examples, this video will explore something many collectors overlook: the value and rarity of this coin in damaged condition. You might be surprised to learn that even worn or damaged coins can still hold value in today's market, especially when demand, history, and silver content come into play. So, if you've got an old 1966 2-shilling coin tucked away somewhere, don't ignore it just yet. The 1966 2-shilling coin was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and is part of the pre-decimal British currency system, which was replaced in 1971. The florin, worth 2 shillings, was originally introduced in 1849 as 1/10 of a pound, making it one of the earliest decimal-style coins in Britain. By 1966, the coin featured the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin, a design that became iconic during the later years of pre-decimal coinage. Importantly, the 1966 issue was struck in cupronickel rather than silver, as the UK had already transitioned away from silver coinage in 1947. This change significantly affects its intrinsic value today. The 1966 2-shilling coin carries a clean and elegant design. On the obverse, you'll find the right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse features a crowned Tudor rose flanked by thistles, shamrocks, and leeks, representing the unity of the United Kingdom. The coin has a diameter of about 28.5 millimeters and a reeded edge. While millions were minted, making it a common coin overall, its design remains a favorite among collectors due to its symbolism and historical context. Even in damaged condition, these design elements can still be partially visible, which plays a role in determining the coin's desirability. Now, let's address the big question: how rare is a 1966 2-shilling coin in damaged condition? The honest answer is it's not rare in the traditional sense. The mintage numbers were quite high, and many of these coins are still found today. However, collector demand can still exist, particularly for those building affordable collections or seeking historical pieces without paying premium prices. Damaged coins, including those that are heavily worn, scratched, bent, or corroded, are typically less desirable, but they are not entirely without value. Some collectors specifically look for low-cost examples to fill gaps in their collections, while others may use them for educational or decorative purposes. When it comes to market value, a 1966 2-shilling coin in damaged condition generally falls on the lower end of the price spectrum. In most cases, such coins sell for approximately 10 cents to $1 USD, depending on the extent of the damage. Coins that are heavily worn with little detail remaining may only be worth face value equivalents or even less in bulk lots. Slightly damaged coins with visible details can fetch closer to the higher end of that range. Since the coin contains no silver, its value is purely numismatic rather than based on metal content. Occasionally, sellers may list them for higher prices online, but actual completed auction sales tend to stay within this modest range. If you're a collector or just starting out, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. First, always assess the condition carefully. Even a small improvement in detail can slightly increase value. Second, avoid cleaning your coins, as this can reduce their appeal and market price. Third, consider buying damaged coins as a budget-friendly way to complete a date set of British florins. Finally, if you're selling, try grouping similar coins together in lots, as this can sometimes attract more buyers and slightly better overall returns than selling individually. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 2-shilling coin from 1966 in damaged condition may not be a hidden treasure, but it still carries historical significance and modest value. While it won't make you rich, it can serve as an accessible entry point into coin collecting or as a nostalgic piece of British monetary history. Remember, every coin tells a story, even the worn and damaged ones. Next up, the United Kingdom 2-shilling from 1967, specifically in rusty or heavily damaged condition. While most collectors focus on pristine examples, there's a growing curiosity around coins that have seen better days. Can a rusty 1967 2-shilling still hold value? Is it rare, or just a common coin with little demand? In this video, we'll explore the history, features, rarity, and real auction market value of this coin in dollars, even in its worn and rusty state. The United Kingdom 2-shilling coin, also known as the florin, has a long and rich history dating back to the 19th century. By 1967, the coin was part of the pre-decimal currency system, where 2 shillings equaled 1/10 of a pound. The year 1967 is particularly significant because it marked the final year of circulating silver-coloured florins before the UK transitioned to decimal currency in 1971. These coins were minted in cupronickel rather than silver, which is important when discussing rust, because technically, true rust, iron oxidation, doesn't occur on cupronickel. What many people call rust is often heavy staining, corrosion, or environmental damage from exposure to moisture and contaminants. The 1967 2-shilling coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait became iconic and was widely used across British coinage. On the reverse, the coin displays a beautifully detailed crowned Tudor rose, symbolizing England, flanked by thistles and shamrocks representing Scotland and Ireland. The inscription 2 shillings is prominently displayed, along with the date 1967. The coin has a diameter of about 28.5 millimeters and a distinctive milled edge. Even in a rusty or damaged condition, many of these design elements remain partially visible, which can still make the coin identifiable and collectible to a certain extent. Here's the honest truth: 1967 2-shilling coins are not rare in general. Millions were minted, making them quite common in circulated conditions. However, when it comes to rusty or heavily damaged examples, the situation changes slightly, but not in the way many hope. Damage actually reduces collector demand significantly. Most serious collectors prefer coins in fine or uncirculated condition. That said, there is a niche group of collectors who buy damaged coins for educational purposes, metal detecting finds, or as placeholders in collections. So while a rusty 1967 florin isn't rare, it can still attract minimal interest depending on how recognizable it is. When we talk about auction value, condition is everything. A well-preserved 1967 2-shilling coin might sell for around $1 to $5 depending on grade. However, in rusty or heavily corroded condition, the value drops sharply. Most such coins sell for approximately 10 cents to 50 cents USD, often in bulk lots rather than individual sales. In some cases, if the damage is extreme and the coin is barely identifiable, it may have no resale value at all beyond its novelty. Occasionally, a slightly damaged but still detailed coin might fetch closer to $1 if sold to a beginner collector. But overall, expectations should remain realistic. This is not a high-value coin in poor condition. If you come across a rusty 1967 2-shilling coin, the first step is to avoid aggressive cleaning. Cleaning can further damage the surface and reduce any remaining value. Instead, gently rinse the coin with distilled water and pat it dry. Store it in a dry, cool environment to prevent further corrosion. If you're a beginner, use such coins as learning tools to understand grading and wear. For serious collectors, it's better to invest in higher-grade examples. However, if you enjoy collecting coins from circulation or metal detecting, even damaged coins can add historical value to your collection. To sum it up, the United Kingdom 2-shilling 1967 coin in rusty condition is more of a curiosity than a treasure. While it holds historical significance as one of the last pre-decimal florins, its value in poor condition is quite limited. Still, every coin tells a story, and even a damaged piece can connect us to the past in a meaningful way. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to learn more about coin values, rarities, and hidden gems. Next up the 1962 United Kingdom 2-shilling, also known as the florin. If you've ever come across one of these coins in an old collection or inherited coin box, you might be wondering, is it valuable? Especially in fine condition, this coin carries both historical importance and steady collector interest. In this detailed video, we'll take a deep dive into its background, design, rarity, and current auction value in US dollars, so stay with me until the end. The 2-shilling coin, or florin, has a long and interesting history. It was first introduced in 1849 as part of an early effort to simplify the British currency system. At the time, the United Kingdom used a complex system of pounds, shillings, and pence, and the florin worth 1/10 of a pound was an important step toward decimalization. By the time 1962 came around, the florin had become a standard coin in everyday use across the United Kingdom. This particular issue was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose image had already become a defining feature of British coinage. The early 1960s were also a transitional period, as the country was gradually moving toward the decimal system that would officially arrive in 1971. Because of this, coins like the 1962 florin represent the final chapter of pre-decimal British currency, making them historically meaningful to collectors today. Now let's talk about what makes the 1962 2-shilling coin visually and physically unique. On the obverse, you'll find the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Mary Gillick. This youthful depiction of the Queen, wearing a laurel wreath, is one of the most recognizable designs in British numismatics. Surrounding the portrait is the Latin inscription that translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse side, the coin features a beautifully detailed crown Tudor rose positioned at the center, flanked by a thistle and a shamrock. These symbols represent England, Scotland, and Ireland, reflecting unity within the United Kingdom. The design is elegant yet bold, making the coin visually appealing even after years of circulation. The coin itself is made from cupronickel, a durable alloy that replaced silver in British coins after 1947. It has a diameter of approximately 28.5 millimeters and a weight of about 11.3 grams, giving it a solid feel in the hand. Even in fine condition, many of these details remain visible, which adds to its collectible appeal. When it comes to rarity, the 1962 2-shilling is not considered a scarce coin in general. Millions were minted, and many examples still exist today. However, rarity in coin collecting isn't just about mintage numbers, it's also about condition and demand. In fine condition, the coin shows moderate wear, but key features like the Queen's portrait and the floral design remain clearly visible. This level of preservation is quite common, which means the coin is accessible to beginner collectors. However, demand still exists because collectors often aim to complete full date sets of florins or build collections of pre-decimal British coins. Even in damaged condition such as coins with scratches, corrosion, or heavy where there is still some level of demand. These coins may not command high prices, but they are often purchased in bulk lots or used as entry-level pieces for new collectors. The historical significance of the coin ensures that it never completely loses its appeal. Now let's get to the part everyone is curious about: the value. In today's market, a 1962 2-shilling coin in fine condition typically sells for around $1 to $5. This range depends on factors such as the clarity of details, overall eye appeal, and whether the coin has any damage. If the coin is in better condition, such as very fine or extremely fine, the value can increase to around $8 to $15, and sometimes even higher in competitive auctions. Coins that have minimal wear and strong visual appeal are especially attractive to collectors and can achieve premium prices. On the other hand, coins in poor or heavily damaged condition may sell for less than $1, often grouped together with other coins in bulk sales. It's important to remember that while this coin isn't extremely valuable on its own, its worth can add up when part of a larger collection. If you're interested in collecting or selling the 1962 florin, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. First, always evaluate the coin's condition carefully. Look at the details on the Queen's portrait and the reverse design. The sharper they are, the more valuable the coin tends to be. Second, avoid cleaning your coin. This is a common mistake among beginners, but cleaning can actually reduce the coin's value significantly. Collectors prefer coins with their original surface, even if they show some natural wear. Third, proper storage is key. Keep your coins in protective holders or albums to prevent scratches, moisture damage, or further deterioration. Finally, stay updated on market trends. Check recent auction results rather than relying solely on fixed online listings. Auction prices often give a more accurate picture of what collectors are willing to pay. To sum it all up, the 1962 United Kingdom 2-shilling coin may not be the rarest coin out there, but it holds a special place in British monetary history. In fine condition, it offers a balance of affordability and historical value, making it a great addition to any collection. Its auction value in dollars may be modest, but its connection to the pre-decimal era and its classic design give it lasting appeal. So next time you come across one of these coins, take a closer look. You might be holding a small but meaningful piece of history. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow coin enthusiasts. And as always, keep checking your collections because every coin has a story waiting to be discovered.